So yeah, I mean, there's just lots of aspects about this truck that I think are pretty cool, you know, that most people wouldn't even notice, but.
Hi, we're Team Parker. I'm Sherry. This is my husband, Mike, and this is our fur baby, Chica. We're a team here at Reliable Carriers.
Well, this is a 2023 579 Pete. It's got a 144-inch sleeper on it. At the moment, it's only got 12,000 miles. We ended up getting the truck, what was it, 3 weeks ago?
About 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, about 3 weeks ago. So, and it had 250 miles on it when we got behind the wheel. Getting into it was shocking almost. I mean, you know, to walk in and look at this thing, to me it was, you know, it's futuristic compared to what I've been in over the years. I mean, it's just a gorgeous truck. It's beautiful. It makes life living on the road bearable and actually enjoyable. You shut down at the end of the night and the rest of the world is blocked out. We feel like we're at home.
We're always on the road.
When we started working here, you know, we got rid of our house, put you know, the things we wanted to keep in storage. We have some nice stuff at our kids' house, and this is basically our retirement plan.
Fast tracking our retirement. Yep.
So, you know,
getting the most done in the shortest amount of time, and
no bills, and you know, we don't have that house payment, so we're not trying to get home to the house that we're paying for. We can just go wherever, whenever, and it doesn't matter when we get back. It makes it kind of makes it very enjoyable.
my husband had been on the road for 21 years when I decided to get my license and go over the road with him.
Team driving with my wife is incredible. I can do what I do. I go to bed at night and I wake up 500 miles down the road. Never in my life have I experienced that, so I feel like I'm getting twice as much done than I've ever been able to in the past. All right, well, let's go inside the truck and take a look at everything that they got going on in here. This is one of the cool features about this truck, having a side door. Makes it a lot nicer than going in and climbing through in between the seats. The step comes out. I mean, it's basically a motorhome. This little screen door is pretty cool. I think that's neat. It's got a lot of little bells and whistles just like this throughout the truck. Come on in. All right, so in here is where our home is. We have a nice bench seat. When the bed is flipped up, this is our bed. You can hit it, it'll flip down. It's a little bit smaller than a twin, but it is bigger than the last one we were in. And it's amazing what an extra 6 to 8 inches of width will do when you're sharing a bed in a truck with someone. These are our little Chica ramps, so she can get on the bed so we don't have to pick her up and take her down because she's constantly wanting up and down. We got storage space like you wouldn't believe in this. Makes it incredible. I mean, all my clothes are in here. I've got basically our work clothes cabinet, everything reliable, and then the rest of it is all our other clothes. So when we're stopped in Las Vegas, Phoenix, California, you know, if they don't have anything going on, we don't have to go see the town in Browns, which makes it kind of nice sometimes. The sink, I love the countertops, just everything in it. To me, this is a very sharp layout and upholstery and everything like that. Toothbrush holder, well, I put that in there to be more hygienic, you know, so that they're not rolling around in our little medicine cabinet with all our stuff. I actually like it. The microwave, not just a microwave, convection oven, broiler, grill, dehydrator, and an air fryer. We've tried the air fryer, we've done the convection oven and the microwave. Pretty neat. I didn't even know they had those. The fridge, good size. I mean, we can go to the store and still spend $400 to stock this thing with food and drinks and everything. The generator, which it is getting warm in here. I like just turning it on. It'll kick on the AC. We have and this is what I mean by the bells and the whistles, the air vent. The older air vents, basically the same thing, but all the controls are up there. So now my wife, she could never reach it before. You just hit the button, it opens on its own and it kicks on. You can set the speed, reverse, and we'll bring it back down.
Wow, that's really cool.
It is neat, yeah. I was looking at it when we first got it, like, what is this remote for? We actually ended up with so many remotes in this truck. Yeah, we have our shower toilet system. This is what makes it possible for my wife to be with me. If this wasn't here, she wouldn't want nothing to do with it. And I gotta say, now that I've had this, I'm quite spoiled. I don't know if I could go back to a conventional, going into truck stops, taking flip-flops, using public showers. This is where it's at. The TV and the remotes that go with it. They got the TV, they got a Blu-ray player up top. They installed a surround sound, basically a center speaker. So we've got so many controls, I didn't know what to do with it. The wife ended up getting all these little pockets and organizers because she's a kind of a neat freak like that. So she wants everything in its place. That's where these baskets came from, you know, because we just had empty counter space. But, you know, where are you going to put everything? It rolls around on the floor. So we got some double-sided sticky tape. We put it up there, and she does a good job at picking out what it all matches. So it looks sharp. If it was me, things would be rolling around on the floor. I'd be tripping over water bottles and all that good stuff. One of the most important things in this truck that didn't come with it, and we added ourselves, is the ice maker. Game changer. Makes life incredible when you can get a cup of ice. You know, even though we keep cold drinks, having, you know, well, everybody knows, having something with ice in it, all the difference in the world. So that thing runs non-stop and continuous. All right, and I'll show you inside the cab and what a 2023 Peterbilt now looks like. All right, so we're in the front of the truck. This is pretty, you know, it's new and a lot more advanced than what I've ever been used to in the last 23 years. No shifter, no clutch. Takes a little bit of getting used to. When I started driving this, you know, it's still a lot more jerky than what I'm used to doing, having a clutch and I'm having a manual and everything. I'm gonna go ahead and fire it up, and that way you can see the gauges on the dash. Everything in here, all electronic. I mean, basically like having your smartphone as our dash now, no more gauges. Pretty neat. I can adjust everything. I can change the layout, how I want it to look. If I, you know, roll the switch right here, it'll take away, we have all the different, you know, your oil pressure, your torque, your boost. That's how I have it laid out. It's pretty much everything that will show up on the dash. But if I roll this up once, you'll see that go, it can take more away. I guess if some people don't want to look at everything that's going on with the truck, they'll roll it up to this spot, and you just have the speedometer showing and the tachometer. Here's the transmission. So it's as simple as this. You roll it, I'm in drive, I push on the gas pedal like I'm in a car, and we go down the road. When I stop, I set the brakes back in neutral. If I want to go into reverse, there we are. And that is the automatic transmission. You can manually shift this. It does have, you know, we can push this button at the end. We're getting on the highway, we're pulling a load, and I want to run the RPMs a little bit higher. I will do that. Usually probably about 6th or 7th gear. I then, you know, will take it up to, it's a 13 speed. So from there I'll sometimes manually shift it depending on the situation I'm in. It makes, definitely is weird. I'm still, you know, going to stop, still moving my foot for the clutch. I still go to grab the shifter every time I do anything. The radio, slick. I mean, we've had these in trucks for a while now. You know, it's the nav system, you know, CD player. This is the hard deck, but everything goes through the screen, links up to my phone real easy. So I don't even really mess with the radio because we all know that, you know, 50 miles down the road you're looking for another station. So I can just play my Spotify or, you know, Pandora, whatever you have, right through the radio. You can choose audio. my wife's phone. When she drives at night, she'll do the same thing. She'll link up. She likes listening to books. It's pretty high tech. Everything that goes on in here. So this switch here, this is your, I can turn off the beeping for crossing out of my lane, which I don't. It doesn't really bother me. I thought it would. A lot of people complain about it, but you get used to it. I guess the most aggravating thing about all the sensors and the beeps is, if you can see right now, it says ACC, that's adaptive cruise control. So I got my cruise control set. I'm going down the road. I'm coming up behind, I'm doing 70. I'm coming up behind a guy who's doing 65. It will match his speed. It tells me his speed. The truck will then match its speed. Before I know it, I look down, I'm like, wait a minute, why am I only doing 65? Well, the guy, you know, an eighth of a mile ahead of me is doing 65, so I have to manually go over it, get on the throttle and come around him. If you get too close, it starts warning you. And you know, the warning is, I mean, it's set at a good spot. You know, at the point where you are tailgating and you are getting too close, where a lot of us have gotten in that comfort zone of doing it, it'll start yelling at you, you know. So once you get used to it, you know, you're getting over into the left lane a little bit sooner than, you know, a lot of us want to, and you know, it might make the impatient driver behind you want to cut you off on the right and split both trucks, but you know, we're gonna have that no matter what we do. The must-have, you know, these air ride seats are pretty cool. They've got a memory to them. I'm just gonna hit the button and it automatically, after it adjusts for the 300 pounds that's sitting on it, it goes right back to the last setting where I had it. So you can just dump it, it goes down. If I get out of the seat and it knows there's no weight, it'll lower itself. I usually just hit it and dump it myself, but there's no more adjustment because I got it where I want it. I think that's pretty cool. To me, it's like going from a Chevy work pickup truck and getting into a Cadillac Escalade. You know, I mean, that's where we're at now with it. One feature I like, it came with the privacy curtains. You flip everything down, snap them open, and completely shut out the rest of the world, and it keeps me from having to keep these curtains shut. When we're parked, we feel like we have a lot more room. It's almost like, you know, she's back there. If I feel like, you know, I could go to my den basically and do my thing. A feature that my wife likes a lot is this little tray. For some reason, I find that obnoxious when I stop and get us some food and we're going down the road and she's got her burger laid out on there and her fries and her little dipping cup. It's just, hey, whatever makes her happy. I haven't personally used it, but she loves it. The Chica bed, I mean, that is her spot. Used to be a side window in the door in the last truck, so she definitely misses that, but she's getting used to it. She's starting to sit on the seat more if she wants to look out the window. All right, well, this is the trailer that we are assigned to. It took me a minute to get used to the enclosed aspect of car hauling. Like I said earlier, you know, I hauled cars for over 21 years before we came here to Reliable. So, you know, I'm not trying to sound arrogant, but I know what I'm doing when it comes to the aspect of auto transportation. The nicest trailer that I've had since I've been here. All the equipment's worked good, but this one has a couple little extras that really make my job a lot nicer. A lot of times I don't use it, but it's this floating floor right here is what we like to call it. But it basically brings back the aspect of an actual car hauler. A lot of these, they just have a deck that go up, you know, get you over the axles. This, I can lift the whole belly of the floor up. I can take a Ford GT from the rear end of the trailer and put it all the way up here on the dance floor without having an issue on the front end or the rear end. Makes life great because it makes it a lot more versatile. I can put whatever I want, wherever I want. I've got 4 independent decks on the top. I had another one before this one that had 3 big ones, which was nice. That was more of a GT trailer. This is more along the lines of your actual car hauler. Any car haulers watching this that are thinking about, you know, hey, what can I do with an enclosed trailer at Reliable? I'll tell you this, I haven't done it yet, but I strongly feel I can get 8 911s in this trailer if they had them at one spot for me to do that. Simply because I can get this deck up, I think I can nose one underneath it down here on the bottom, and the other 3, even if I had to lower the in front of the axles down over here, pretty sure I can get 3 with a 4th one over top of each other right here, and obviously 4 across the top because we got 4 decks. Well, I'm gonna open up the gate. Those of you who have used or seen a lift gate, this isn't anything new or exciting, but those of you who've never seen one, this is how we get them on here at Reliable. So for the most part, you know, it's like an elevator. You know, you're putting low profile vehicles on the top. You can take the gate right to the ground, drive your Corvette, your Ford GT, your Ferrari. I mean, you know, anything that you'd normally be ripping the front bumper off of on a set of skids to put up on your 10 car, this, boom. No boards, no building none of that stuff up.
One of our first experiences, the 2 older gentlemen that
Oh.
were selling off some of their collection.
Yeah, and they had an Army Jeep that was at a base in Alaska, I believe it was.
It was in 1942, and he drove it when he served.
So he actually drove that Jeep. Yeah.
He did, and he was able to purchase it from the government when he retired from the service. And he was 92 years old and decided it was time to sell it.
Yeah, that was actually our first POV load. I thought it was Ohio, but we were going down to an RM sale down in Miami.
Yep.
So that was actually our first POV move for an RM, and that was our first tip too. I still have the $250 bills the guys gave me. So.
We do. Yep. Yeah, I really enjoyed those customers and their story.
Well, thank you for coming on a tour of our truck and our equipment and seeing what we do here at Reliable, and we'll see you guys later.
Just bye, everybody.